Okay, yes, please.
Many of you are in the same position. All your club needs is a few more members to reach distinguished, or maybe you are just looking for a zero net loss or to reach the magic 8. Regardless of what number you are shooting for, the dynamics of attracting new members to your club meetings has not really changed. Step 1, pick a date. Step 2, publicize your event. Step 3, ask guests to join. But it's that pesky step 2 that we all stumble on, yes? And thanks to COVID, it's become a flipping coin with the closure of physical meeting spaces on one side and the expansion of global opportunities on the other. Yet, how do we put up a flyer for an open house so someone in our community or the other side of the United States or the other side of the planet will be able to see it? District 32 Program Quality Director Roberta Craig was introduced to Eventbrite as an area director over 3 years ago. Since then, she has used Eventbrite to enhance the publication of many events held throughout the district, including this one. She is here today to show us what she has learned about marketing your club event through Eventbrite. Please help me welcome Program Quality Director Roberta Craig.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Today, we're going to talk about 3 things. It's going to be an action-packed hour, and I want you all to utilize the chat to communicate with each other and to communicate with me. I'd like to extend a thank you to Angela for being my chat master and timer for this event. Robert, if you can also keep an eye on the chat and help Angela out with that. We're going to cover 3 things in this hour. The first one is creating your calendar. The second, learning how to use Eventbrite. And third, finding some resources to help build content to publicize or to attract people to your club. The first thing, create a calendar. What comes to mind when I tell you you need to create a calendar?
Work.
Work. Yes, it seems like that pesky thing of creating a calendar. And many of you, when I say create a calendar, oops, escape. Share my screen and let's see. This is what comes to mind, isn't it? This mass of information of dates, times, scheduling things in addition to all of your work, personal lives. This is what we think of as a calendar. That's not what I want you to think about. It is part of creating your calendar, but the other part that comes with creating your calendar is determining what the priorities are that you need to plan things for, and then creating your content. That's the thing that's going to get people to keep coming back to your Facebook page, to your website, to your Eventbrite events. And when I talk about content, let's make sure I'm trying to multitask here in sharing things. This is what the start of planning for your calendar. Can all of you see this matrix of impact versus effort? There's 4 quadrants in this, and it's called, you're planning things out based on impact and effort. You have your things that are low impact, low effort, and things that are high impact and high effort. Those are the tasks that take a lot of planning. Major projects, your low impact, low effort, those are your fill-ins. When you have some time, and we all seem to have a lot of time on our hands, don't we? Okay, I'm hoping you're all laughing and not crying when I say that. So let's use chat. What are some of things that would be major projects that you have to complete before the end of this Toastmaster year. Yeah. Folks, to help me out here in the chat, what are some ideas?
Obtain new members.
Obtaining new members, that's a big one, isn't it? Speech contest, succession planning, new member orientation. Yes, moment of truth,
Open house event.
open house event, and I'm going to give you some ideas for that coming up. Training club members. What are some of those quick wins? These are things that are high impact and low effort. Anybody? These are just automatic turnkey, these welcoming new members, timely communications. Hopefully that's a quick win. Submitting officer names. Yes, that's an easy one. You have your elections and you submit those officer names for the DCP. Paying dues. Hopefully that's a quick win for all of us. And something that is going to be very important, attending a TLI, club officer training. That's a quick win. Now, what are some of those, what do we call them? Thankless tasks. Those are the ones that are low impact. Many of our club members don't really see the impact of them, but there's a lot of effort that's involved. Scheduling weekly meetings is a thankless task. Yes, it is. Marketing meetings, member or club officer meetings, those executive meetings, creating a theme, finding a location. That can be a surmountable thing with COVID right now. How are we going to do that? Organizing them out, sending out reminders. Yes, that is a thankless task. And then those quick fill-ins. These are those low impact, low effort. And again, that is sending out those agendas. So now that you have all those tasks sort of identified, it's putting that in the calendar, an actual physical calendar. And this is where your club executive meetings, maybe bringing in some of your club members and helping them, mentoring them on these projects. Having a club member be a committee chair for your club contest. This gives them the opportunity to learn some of those leadership skills and takes a little bit of pressure off of your VPE. Those thankless tasks, sending out the reminders, maybe get someone that's the Toastmaster of the week that helps send out those reminders. Or maybe you can have the Toastmaster of the month, and they are the ones that are sending out those reminders. Quick wins, those high impacts, low efforts. What were some of those again?
Signing up the agenda roles covertly for members.
Getting people voluntold, isn't it? For those members. Maybe you have to identify what are the roles that you're wanting to have every single week. If you're a club that meets weekly, having to decide that, oh, well, you know, we only have 8 members. We don't want to overexhaust our club members. So you're cutting down those roles. Maybe that's a quick win. And so you only have 4 or 5 roles. You have a speaker, you have a Toastmaster, you have an evaluator, you have a table topics master, and a general evaluator. That's it. Okay, or an evaluator that also acts as the general evaluator. 5 roles. And everybody rotates those. Maybe it's you actually schedule out the rotation of who's doing what. And then those fill-ins, sending out those reminders, low impact, probably, you know, one of those things that's a thankless task is updating the club website. How many VPPRs do I have out there that are saying, yes, that is a thankless task? Maybe updating, posting things on your Facebook page. That seems like a thankless task. It's a lot of effort. and it doesn't seem like there's getting that much impact. Yes, I thank you for raising your hand, Patty. That definitely is one of those that are shout out for the VPPRs. So let's say we're going to have an open house. We're picking an open house. What are some ideas for open houses that we can have? And there's a method to my madness here tonight. Maybe it's your club contest. You're having to plan it anyway. Why don't you invite guests to come in and see some of these amazing speeches, see these amazing evaluations taking place? Maybe you decide to have a Facebook Live, so having to plan that, yes. Bring your members, engage your members in these activities. Don't take on all of this by yourself, okay? Plan it out. It should be a 6-week planning. And that may seem like, oh gosh, that's insurmountable. We can't plan something that just the idea of 6 weeks of planning for an event seems like a lot of work. But if you get the club members in, like I said, the easy part, pick a date, right? Pick a date. That should be easy. Can someone, could be someone's HPL. Yes, definitely. It could be their DTM project, maybe. But getting your club members to engage by having them participate in these activities. And maybe they're not ready to take it all on, but give them a chance to step their toes in the water. Correct? So let's say we have an open house that we're planning. What are the things that we have to start with? 1, pick a date. 2, pick a theme.
Get volunteers.
And then volunteers, which is filling out the agenda. But if you start this 6 weeks in advance of this, hopefully by week 1 or 2, you have the theme and the agenda, correct? And the date. So then it's publicizing the event, the big one, publicizing the event. How do we go about doing that? And before we get, content and materials, how do we fill up some of that? What are some ideas that people have for coming up with themes for their meetings? If we're going to have an open house, a great way is looking up what National Day calendar. I love that. I did a theme meeting that was get up and move, and we did the chicken dance as one of our things. So looking, new year, new you. Right now, maybe it's about interviewing. If you have people in your club or in your area, this is one that would attract potential members. I'm looking at getting a promotion. I want to actively seek a promotion. How do I go about doing that? Well, join Toastmasters. We'll give you some of those skills. Or like I said, make your club contest your open house. Let's publicize that. Get people to see these amazing Toastmasters give speeches and evaluations. Something with a call to action. Yes. Current pop culture topics. You know, we have holidays coming up. One of my club is meeting on St. Patrick's Day. You know, I'm going to take full advantage of that. So let's plan those things in advance. Pick a date. So first thing, going back to your club, pick a date. 6 to 8 weeks out in advance. And I'm going to give you some incentives before we finish this event. Club anniversary, yes. Now we've picked the date. We have a theme. We're filling out the agenda. And you might have to beg and borrow from your area club, from your club members in your area to help fill out. Maybe you're a club that only has 8 members, maybe a little less than 8 members, and you're wanting to fill out this square in Zoom. Beg and borrow from your fellow area directors. Beg and borrow from your fellow area club members, letting them know we have this event. Can you help us out in filling the room? And this is our thing. This helps plan that. And that's why you need a 6 weeks to plan. Yes, that's right, Julia. That's why you start early. So now that we picked the date, we've picked the theme, we're putting together the agenda. What comes next, folks?
Marketing.
Marketing, publicizing the event. District 32 made the decision this past year that we are going to stop using Meetup. We're no longer going to pay for that subscription. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, because it's a paid subscription. And we really didn't feel like we're getting enough out of it, especially with clubs being online, some clubs being hybrid. We wanted to provide and encourage clubs to utilize a means that provides them custom publication of their events. And the tool that we are encouraging clubs to participate in is using Eventbrite. So where do we get started with Eventbrite? Okay. Just need to, oops, figure out how to share my screen here. Share screen. So marketing your club events through Eventbrite. One, all clubs can open an Eventbrite account and it's free. I know many of you think that, oh, well, if I have an Eventbrite account, isn't there a charge for Eventbrite? The only time you are charged for using Eventbrite is if you actually charge for the event. So maybe you're having a speech craft. That might be something that you would actually charge for. And if you sell tickets through Eventbrite and charge through Eventbrite, they have a percentage fee on those tickets. Okay, so you're not really losing a lot of money. It's free. We love free services, don't we? Anything that I can customize and is free, I am all for it. Okay. So every club can open up an Eventbrite account. All you have to do is go to Eventbrite and create your account. But there are some tricks in all of this. Before you start and go to Eventbrite and start registering, you should have a club, and these are my tips and tricks, have a club Google email account. And this should be an email account that at least your VPPR, maybe your president, also your secretary have access to. So it's a club account. Don't use your personal account for this, make it a club account. I also encourage folks to have a Google Drive to where they're putting their content and storing it. This is where you're going to put your agendas. This is where you might put some of your images that you are going to load onto Eventbrite. Next, an online meeting platform link. Now, all of you, many of you are using Zoom. Probably about 95% of our clubs are using Zoom. Some of them are using Microsoft Teams. My club is using WebEx. So as long as you have that online meeting platform link, great. And maybe you're not meeting in person, maybe you are not meeting online. Maybe your club has chosen to meet in person. You at least need to know how you're going to communicate where that people can go to attend your meetings. And then last but not least is having, oh, sorry. a club social media account, such as Facebook or LinkedIn. Think of the target market that you're wanting to attract. Now, Facebook is easy or for advertisement. And I know a lot of people are going to go, Facebook, there's so much involved with that, having to update, whatnot, who's going to be in charge? Paying for advertisement on Facebook? You don't really have to. Think of it this way. If you have a club Facebook account and all your members are following that account or are members of that account, all they have to do is take that content, take those posts and shove them out to their friends and invite their friends to the meeting with that. So this easy free advertisement. And again, I love the word free. So once you have those in play, you want to go and create your club's Eventbrite account. Not your personal Eventbrite account. Maybe you have a personal Eventbrite account, but create a club Eventbrite account. And all you have to do is go to eventbrite.com, enter in your email address. There's some questions that you'll have to answer, such as, club information, and it's really basic information about your club. What target hashtags that you're going to be using. And then it's creating an event. That's the next thing. Once you've created your Eventbrite account, it's creating the event. Now, many clubs, maybe you are you're one of those clubs that meet every week or every other week. Or you are a club that meets once a month and you are more of a special event type club. So I want to say sound advice, you have theme events for each of your month. If you're meeting on a regularly scheduled basis, I'm going to encourage you to do two things. One, create a basic club meeting Eventbrite. So this is just, it's the basic. This is when you're having your regular meetings every single time. And then in addition to that, have your special event meeting. So what does this look like? I'm going to try and stop share here. And then share my actual Eventbrite account if I can. Oops, I have to pull it up first. Okay. Now try and share. So can you all see my Eventbrite page? Oops. For a club. So when I look at our events, manage my events, you can see our regular club meeting and our actual special event, which is our Center Point Success. It was our Speechcraft. So both of these can be happening at the same time. They're happening on the same day. The thing is that the communication for the online event is going only to one thing. They're going back to our website or going back to the same meeting link. It doesn't matter how they register for the event. They're going to get the same link. So that's one way you can manage having regular club meetings and your special event. So we have our regular club meeting created, and now we're going to create our special event meeting. Okay. Are you all seeing my PowerPoint again? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay. So you're going to create that. In this case, I'm just doing it as the regular club meeting. You're going to put in your basic information. What's the title of the event? It could be your Speechcraft, and come up with a name other than Speechcraft. We titled ours Center Point for Success. So make it sort of an action type event, action in the name. Who's the organizer? You. What are the tags that you're going to use when people go onto Eventbrite and search things? What are the tags that you want them to use? And as you're typing in these tags, it will tell you how many other events use that tag. Okay, so you're going to want something that's sort of broad that other people are going to be grasping on. Maybe just put District 32 Toastmasters. Toastmasters meeting, Toastmasters online, Toastmasters club. People are looking for the word Toastmasters. They're going to see that. And then identify that this is an online event. Oops. Then you're going to add your dates. So once you've created your basic information, always, anytime you see save at the bottom of the screen, save and saved often. I have gone in and created that basic page and neglected to hit save to advance to the next page. And then I'm starting all over again. I see Talisa nodding her head. She's had this happen to her. And then you're going to add your dates. If this is a reoccurring meeting, you can set those reoccurring dates, either weekly, maybe you are meeting only the third Thursday of the month, or maybe the first Wednesday of every month. It provides you that opportunity. Now it's month, week, or year. Now for my club, we meet every other week. So I set it up for weekly, and then I went through and deleted the weeks that we did not meet. So you can set it up broad and then delete the ones that you're not using. And then hit save. This is a big one. Hit save here. Then you have to go into the description. You're identifying more details. It's the next step. And Eventbrite is going to move you through these steps. So you're putting in the description. And I always like having the summary, which is the title at the top, be a question. Because this is what you want people to ask. When they're searching for their event, you want to be able to answer a question that they have. So ask the question for them. And in this case, I said, where do you want to take your career this year? This makes them think. And I want to know more about that answer. What do you have to offer me about my career? So ask a question in the summary and then provide some answers. Whether or not you're seeking a promotion or wanting to advance your management skills. So you ask the question and then you provide an answer in the next text. And the way you get people to notice you on Eventbrite and on Facebook, what have I said time and time again? What gets people noticed? What gets people to stop when they're scrolling through Facebook, besides cat videos? What gets people to stop? It's the videos, isn't it? Yes. Pictures of you. Content. This is the content. Video is always going to make people stop, especially if you ask a question, provide an answer, and then provide a video of an example. Sam says video only. Yes, video has a greater capture than just plain pictures. Now, maybe you're saying, well, you know, I'm not a camera type person. There's content out there that Toastmasters offers for you. And your video could be a movie PowerPoint presentation that people can see. So video captures the attention. to our presentation. So, oops. So get noticed with videos, my why videos, wow factor videos, a PowerPoint ad for the meeting. Toastmasters International has videos that you can put in there. This is a relatively new Toastmaster video that I came across. How did I come across it? By reading my Toastmasters magazine online. And I clicked into the content and I found this video. And now I'm posting it everywhere that I can get it. The next step, so we've gone from basic information, creating our schedule, creating our details. And I told you, Eventbrite is just going to move you through all these steps. It's the online event page. If you are having your meetings online, if you're doing it hybrid, you want to provide a means for the people who purchase your ticket to attend your meeting. Now, there's some ways that you could do this. You can, and I know some of you may be a little leery. Okay, well, who's all getting that link? Only the people who purchase a ticket will get this link. So this is the first place where you're putting the link. You're also going to put the link in your emails reminder. And we'll get to that later. So you put in your email link. I know some people have, some clubs have actually linked their Zoom account to their Eventbrite account. I've had too many times where that link just doesn't quite work. And then people are trying to find the link to a meeting. Me, I prefer to use the additional content in creating a link in there. And again, you could even add a video, you can add an image. It's so that when they get this link and when you register for an event and they put it on their calendar, when they go to their calendar, then they can see the link, they can see the video over and over again. The next is tickets. I suggest that you create 2 tickets for your events. 1, your ticket for your current club members, and 2, general admission. Now you're wondering, why 2 different tickets? Because you're going to ask different questions in the order options based on whether or not they're an existing member or they're a guest. And I just left it as general admission. You could put it guest. So current Centerpoint members, guests. You'll put in here that sales are only online unless you, to me, it's easier that way. And I actually like putting down minimum quantity and maximum quantity being 1. 1 that's easier to track. And again, you're wanting to get information from those guests. Next step, those questions. That's the order form. Anytime when a person purchases a ticket, there's basic things that Toastmasters or Eventbrite is going to collect on all ticket purchasers. And that is first name, last name, and email. Okay, that's great. That's all I really need for my current members, but I need more information for my guests. Anybody have an idea of what some of those questions might be that we want to ask our guests?
Phone number.
Phone number.
How
So,
they heard about us.
how they heard about us, address. You know, there's this thing called a membership application. You want to ask those questions. Maybe they don't fill out the application, but you want some way of getting back to them. What are their goals? Vicki or Karen, I love that. No, I didn't think about that, but maybe I'm going to go back in and add that to my questionnaire of what their goals are, who they were referred by, best contact information. So
Are you
that,
already a Toastmasters member?
yes. So play from current slide. These are the ones that I put in there. Are you currently a member of Toastmasters Club? Our club is catering to employed people. And so, that's our target market for many of our events. So I want to know who their employer is. I want to know what their job title is. That's going to give me a little bit more information about them. Mailing address, cell phone number. Do not underestimate the power of the cell phone number. Maybe it's being able to send them text messages. Always ask them, may we follow up with you? Where did you learn about Toastmasters, and who can we thank for your attendance? And this last one here, where did you learn about Centerpoint Toastmasters? You can then create a follow-up question to that, which was, who may we thank for inviting you? So then this gives me a chance to thank our Toastmasters, acknowledge our own members for the effort that they're doing in bringing in new members. Oh, and then this, the next thing, the customized email for the confirmation of the ticket. Again, this is in the handouts, and there's some ways, tips and tricks of getting this HTML. For some reason, Eventbrite has not made this section of the ticketing process very HTML interactive. So what I've done is I actually create all this stuff in a Word document, then I cut and paste in here. So it's basic information. Thank you for registering for our Centerpoints meeting. And then instead of sending them to that HTML, the Zoom link, what I do is I send them to our club website. This is going to give them the most information about our club. Yes, that means that you have to update your club website. But in the interim, between the time that that they bought the ticket and we're hosting the event, they can go in and see news about our club and tell them that you're looking forward to seeing them at the next meeting. How are we doing so far? Do I still have you with me? Thank you. Okay, take a deep breath. We've created our tickets. We've created our online event page. We provided the details. We got the schedule in, basic information. We're taking a deep breath. And now we want to publicize this event, push it out past Eventbrite into social media. Now, Eventbrite has a quick tip or quick steps for doing this. And that is on that marketing overview page, notice these icons that come up: Facebook, Messenger, Twitter, LinkedIn. This is the quick tip. You just click on one of these buttons, and if you are logged in, and that's one of the key things, you need to be logged into Facebook when you're doing this. You click on Facebook and that will push out the event to your Facebook page. That's how easy it is. Or you're logged into LinkedIn and you hit that IN and that takes you out to LinkedIn. And this is what it looks like when you hit that button. Now, granted, that may not be the most attractive Facebook ad. It's just, if they click on this, it's going to take them to your Eventbrite event registration. But this isn't the only thing that you put out there for this event. And that gets back to our calendar. How are we doing? Are you still with me here? Are you feeling overwhelmed? That's okay, because we're going to have a recording of this on the District 32 website, so you can come back and refresh. Yes, thank you, Rebecca, for letting me know you're still hanging in there with me. Wow, we are up to 102 attendees. Phenomenal. I'm loving it. And we're going to push out this information, like I said, on the district website. So you've created that. Yeah, I talked about content and that content calendar. So I've pushed out my event, my one event that LinkedIn or that click, so that people can go in and register for my Facebook page. But don't leave that as the only thing that you put on your Facebook page, because I start scrolling through. If you only have one post about your event, how often do you think people are seeing that? Not often, right? So you zilch, yes. They're scrolling through, they're watching cat videos. If you have only one post on there, I may not see it. So you want to repost every day. That might be, maybe add some cat videos to your Facebook page. But you want to bring people back to your Facebook page. Bring them back. It's Juanetta Ayers had this phrase, you want to plant the seeds, be a dandelion, and seeds floating everywhere, but then you also want to be the bear and bring them back to your cave. That's why my Eventbrite sends them back to our club website. Well, on the order confirmation, it sends them back to the club website. You also want to be able to get them to come back to that Facebook. And how you do that is by having content that posts every day. Not necessarily just that Eventbrite event, but other things that are going to attract them. Other videos from Toastmasters. Maybe it's a post of the Toastmasters magazine. So let me see if I can get there. I have to pull up there. And then share my screen. Toastmasters International. Can you guys see my Toastmasters International page? Yes. Easy resources that you can then grab and post on your Facebook page. Grab and post on your club website. A good one is Toastmasters International magazine. We all get the link every month, right? How many of you go in and actually read it? Come on, be honest. And for those of you who don't read it all that often, be honest. This is good content that you could just grab and push out. So as you're looking at an article, scrolling through, oh, well, here's an article, 8 tips for engaging your audience. This might be something that people who are wanting to join Toastmasters for their work need. I'm giving a presentation at work. I need to be able to figure out how to engage my audience. I click into the article, and at the very top of the article, notice those icons once again. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm not exactly sure what that icon is. I've never used it, but you just click on Facebook. And all of a sudden, I'm there. I put this in as a post. Poof. I now have content on my Facebook page. And you can go in, look at old magazine, Toastmasters magazine, and post those articles on your Facebook page. Your Facebook page, you can, and that may seem like, oh gosh, that's a lot of work to do every day. Facebook's business application allows you to schedule all of those posts. I'm not going to get that into that today. That will be another discussion for another time. Join us for the February 23rd club officer training, and we're going to get more into scheduling those Facebook posts and emailing content from Eventbrite. So this is that quick way of getting some of that content. This is where I found that quick video. I clicked on video. I was just curious what video.
Toastmasters International is a nonprofit organization that has helped millions around the globe.
And from here, I click share. I copy the URL. Oops, I think I need to expand this a little bit more. Copy the URL. So I clicked on it, copied the URL. Then I go to my Facebook page. And I'm going to create a post. And all I do is paste that URL into my Facebook page. Post. Hit post. Poof, it's there. That's the quick way of adding that content. See, that's how quick it was.
Roberta, somebody asked in the chat if we share the if we share the Toastmasters magazine article to our Facebook page and somebody's not a paying member of Toastmasters and it links back to it, would they be able to see it?
I know the YouTube one will, because that's outside that content. I believe they will see that article because
Okay.
I wasn't logged in to my to Toastmasters International, and I was able to view the article.
Perfect. Oh, and Julia just messaged Toastmasters magazine is free.
Yes, Toastmasters magazine is free. So and this is a great way of testing it is don't be logged in. If you can grab the content without being logged in, you can share it on Facebook without any roadblocks.
And one other quick question, Roberta, at the beginning of your presentation, you shared a slide with the 4 quadrants. Is that something you can share in the chat with us?
I will post that before I leave
Perfect.
today. So I did post the handouts for this. Again, this information will be available on the Toastmasters International, or on, not Toastmasters International, the District 32 website. And let's see if I can get there from here just to show you guys quickly. One of those things I have to bring up. I'm learning Mac. So if you go to the District 32 website, it's d32toastmasters.org. We have done some modifications to our website, and one of those is our club officer training. So there is links there. There are some videos at the bottom of the page. We're going to post the video of this to that page as well. And any of those handouts we'll make available through this page as well. But I'm not done. District 32, the trio has an incentive for all of you for planning your event. Let's flood TM with requests to send out hard copies of the magazine. Don't you miss that? Oh, I so miss that. I love that. But you know, I like the fact that it's electronic because I can now share it. My thing that I want Toastmasters International to do is make videos of each of those articles. I would love to post a video instead of just an actual hard or read copy of the articles. I want videos of the articles. That's the thing I keep telling them. Well,
Right.
I'm not, yeah.
There was a question earlier. This is about posting. Somebody was having a challenge with posting the magazine to Facebook. They said their VP of PR couldn't do it.
Well, maybe we can have a little bit more side-on chat with that. I haven't personally experienced a problem. It might be an issue with they have to be public. The post has to be a public post. Okay. If you're posting it as a just friends group, other people aren't going to see it. So that might be an issue. Older articles do have trouble posting. So it's one of those, you know, post it on your own page and then push it out. See if you can push it out. November meetings were member development days, not club officer.
There was a question earlier about whether the membership development days counted towards
No.
officer training.
No.
And there were some questions earlier during the Eventbrite marketing section. You need me to go over those?
I have one thing that I'm wanting to offer, and then we'll come back to those questions. If you beg my leeway here, and that is District 32 has an offer for you in creating your event, scheduling that open house, coming up with the calendar. And that is, this is a one-time only. We'll see how crazy I end up getting at the end of this year. But District 32 for Talk Up Toastmasters is wanting to do an open house district tour. Okay. Between events between February and April, utilize the district event request form to submit an event 4 weeks prior to the event, please. So clubs are limited to one open house submission. Usually in the past, we have not promoted club events on our district calendar. This is the one olive branch we are extending because we would like to do a district-wide open house tour. So submit one open house submission. You have to provide the registration and online meeting links in the form, the agenda. So in other words, you have already planned out the agenda, a description of the meeting theme. So those are 4 things that you're providing me: registration, online meeting links, agenda, and the description meeting theme. Utilize the event request form, send that in 4 weeks prior to your event. Longer if you want more publication time. And the district will spend money to promote your event on our Facebook page. And we will also post it in our calendar of events. And it's a one-time offer. We would love to be able to promote a district-wide tour of open houses leading up to our the week of May 9th, which is our district conference. So what does that mean? That means, okay, if you're sending me that information 4 weeks before your event, you've already spent 2 weeks planning this event minimum, because you've picked the date, you've picked a theme, and you've created that event in Eventbrite or whatever means that you have of providing people a chance to register for your event. Okay. I also suggest everyone with Facebook join the D32 Facebook page. Yes. The Facebook page and the Facebook group. We have two things. The group is to advertise your club events throughout the year, throughout the district. And there are people who are outside our district who are members of that Facebook page or our Facebook group. The Facebook page is where we're pushing out content and actually paying for advertisement. We can only do that on a page. We can't do that on a group. So join our Facebook page and join our Facebook group. Questions? I know I threw a lot at you through this with Eventbrite and creating your, just the bare minimum of creating your event in Eventbrite. So Angela, what were some of those questions that came up?
I'm going to go from the start, from the top, and just make sure that some of them may have been answered in chat, but I just want to make sure that folks got the answer. So one of the questions was whether or not you needed a club email address to set it up properly. And somebody mentioned they thought one of the club officer fee to host emails would work.
Okay, so this is, again, I'm just acting from my experience. Free Toast Host is wonderful. How many of you have run into situations where the communications for Free Toast Host didn't come to your club officers? Have it happen way too many times. Having a club email account that's outside of Free Toast Host, one that I can channel out to on Facebook, on other social media that people can send contact information to. I just prefer having a separate email account that's for the club. Yes, that's one more account to have to, email account to have to manage. But it happens way too many times that the Free Toast Host, those communications break and it never gets to the club officers. Robert, you have your hand raised.
There we go. Just to clarify on when we're talking about a club email address, so something might be, this is the question, would it be appropriate to do like info@Northwest Faithfully Speaking?
Whatever.
@gmail.com.
You just have to make sure that it is an email address that everybody, that the people who are scheduling the event are monitoring. Okay, so if you're doing this through Eventbrite, make sure that's an email that somebody is monitoring. We have a district Eventbrite account that many of our advanced clubs are utilizing, and they forget to change who is getting the order notices. So if any of you wonder why it takes so long to get a hold of me through email, every single event order, ticket order, I get an email for because people have neglected to change the email address. That's why, one, I want your own clubs to create your own Eventbrite accounts. So those notifications are coming to that email address. The reason why you have that email address is so that people can ask questions. They might have a follow-up question. Okay, next, Angela?
I just want to confirm the Eventbrite. What is the event for, or is it inviting folks to write their meetings?
Oh, for the incentive, it is club.
So
Okay, so you're gonna create an open house and event. Okay. And we are going to advertise it. Now that open house event may be your contest, may be a theme meeting, but just like you would have an open house when we were in person where you invited guests, we're doing this electronically.
Roberta,
Mm-hmm.
the time frame, I know you said preferably that we do that before May,
Mhm.
but it could be from now until May.
Well, it's 4
I
weeks
mean,
from
not
now.
today, right, right. But we could start planning now
Oh, yes,
for
plan
this open
now.
house. We could,
Start planning now.
yes.
If you haven't already started planning your open house, start planning now. After this session, go back to your clubs, executive committee, pick a date, start planning now.
And if we already have a date, we can submit that to you now. We could, it doesn't have to be like from March until May. Excellent,
One
okay.
day, yeah, one day. I do ask that you provide us 4 weeks in advance notice. I have already had 2 clubs contact me saying, oh, well, it's shy of the 4 weeks. Can we still get in on this? If you have all the parts and pieces, yes, you can get in on it. I would point out that you can invite people beyond your normal physical community. Remember I said, how do you post a flyer for your event across the United States? Pink's Energy has people in all 4 time zones. Maybe you want to invite people from across the other side of the globe. Eventbrite allows us to do that. Well, I'd like to thank you all for attending. I've got the red flag here that's telling me that I am out of time. I am going to hang out. I believe the next thing we have is a 5-minute break. I'm going to hang out for that break. So feel free to ask me any questions. I do have another training session that I have to run off to, but I believe one of the Zoom hosts will capture the chat and I will try and get back with any questions after I leave.
We'd be more than happy to do that for you.
With that, I turn this back over to our Toastmaster for today, Phil, and our Zoom hosts. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Roberta. You gave us so much information about marketing our clubs through through Eventbrite. I especially found the part about setting up the forms especially helpful. An important tip, save your chat. All of us can save our chats. Go down to that little chat bubble, click it, go to the 3 little bubbles on the side and click Save Chat. It'll put it in your Documents folder. Do that a couple times through the meeting so that you make sure you don't lose anything. Remember, the second half of our program is coming up after the break that Roberta just mentioned. The second half is the all-important breakout sessions. And following the breakout sessions, we'll get back together, and that's when we're going to have the survey link provided. The survey link is how all of us will get credit for participating in all of our whatever officer roles we have, no matter how many clubs you're an officer in. And last comment before we go to the break, we're going to have a 5-minute break. When we come back, I'm going to have the honor of introducing our breakout leaders. Boy, we have a cast of just super powered Toastmasters to help us today. Zoom Master, are there any comments before we take a 5-minute break?
If you haven't renamed yourself with your appropriate VPE or president, please do so during the break, and that will help us get you to the room that you need to be in if you're having trouble. The breakout rooms are going to be self-chosen, so you'll click down at the bottom, breakout rooms, and click to join your appropriate training session.
Thanks, Robert. Well done. Thanks for the good information. Rename yourself now if you haven't already. With that, I have 11:11. Let's return at 11:16 in Washington, or I guess that would be 10:16 in Alaska. Give yourselves a hand. Make sure you come back so you can participate in the breakout sessions.
Great job, Roberta.
Thank you.
Yeah, really great job.
You know, If you keep doing this, we're going to have to start more clubs to get all the people in.